What's happening, everybody? I'm Todd Tanner. This is Wrestling News Now. Let's get right down to it. I found a very interesting article, and I'm going to read it. It was published in The Undefeated, titled, All Elite Wrestling Has Become a Destination for LGBTQ Athletes. AEW set itself apart from other wrestling companies, improving representation for sexuality and gender inclusivity. Quote, when All Elite Wrestling AEW was launched in 2019, CEO and co-founder Tony Khan sought to sign the best talent he could find regardless of race, gender, or sexuality. After coming across Nyla Rose, he knew he found someone who could be a cornerstone of the promotion's women's division. She's a tremendous, powerful monster heel wrestler who bullies people, said Khan, the son of Jacksonville Jaguars owner Shahid Khan. And I thought she reminded me of a female version of some of the big, bruising, badass wrestlers of my childhood. But Khan was unaware of the history he made by adding Rose to his roster, as she became the first openly transgender wrestler to sign with a major American professional wrestling promotion. I had no idea Nyla was trans, he said. I thought Nyla was a great wrestler, and when I found out, I thought, well, that's great too. I didn't expect that, but it's awesome. Rose had built a name for herself by working for independent promotions in America and Japan. She knew she'd be entering a whole new spotlight by signing with AEW, the first wrestling company besides WWE to secure a deal with a top 25 cable network since WCW went bankrupt in 2001. Let me read that again. Rose had built a name for herself by working for independent promotions in America and Japan. She knew she'd be entering a whole new spotlight by signing with AEW, the first wrestling company besides WWE to secure a deal with a top 25 cable network since WCW went bankrupt in 2001. I was comfortable in my skin at this point, and I thought it was important for the world to meet someone like myself, she said, so I signed in a heartbeat. Rose's historic signing helped open doors for other wrestlers. Sonny Kiss, a gender-fluid wrestler who uses both male and female pronouns, knew that signing with AEW would be a great career move. Rose being there put it over the top. I felt like if Nyla wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to do it, Kiss said. And not that I couldn't do it in the sense of ability, but it feels great to have someone else there who can understand me and just ride that ride with me. There have been other openly gay wrestlers, and WWE has more wrestlers who identify as LGBTQ now than it did in the past. But this type of representation and inclusivity made AEW an attractive destination for a wrestler like Anthony Bowens, who is gay. When AEW first started, I saw the product they were presenting. I immediately turned my attention to them, and I knew that was where I wanted to be, said Bowens, who signed with the company in November 2020. With 3 black wrestlers who are open members of the LGBT community on its roster, AEW has set itself apart from other wrestling companies in providing representation for sexuality and gender inclusivity. Everyone is there simply because they're believed to be the best person for the job. They're not there to tick off any check marks or anything. Rose said, so the fact that it's not even a thing, it means everything to people like us, because that's what we want. We just want to be normal. We don't want to check any boxes or be any affirmative action hires, anything like that. It feels good to be seen as a person. Rose, Kiss, and Bowens have each taken different paths, both in their wrestling careers and in discovering their identity. Rose, 38, began training and working with the independent circuit when she was 25 and medically transitioned on her 29th birthday. At the time, she thought that day would put an end to her wrestling dreams. I literally expected it to be the end of my career, Rose said. I was completely wrong about it. But that was my mindset. I went into it knowing for a fact I had fun. I did the wrestling thing. This is it. It's over. I'm going to put it out there. Maybe somebody, somewhere, might want to hire me. Who knows? But I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. And I was definitely wrong about that. Kiss27 said, as he was aware of his gender fluidity from a very early age and his family was supportive, when he decided to pursue wrestling at 19, he expected to face hardships, but he didn't let that deter him. He wanted to be himself. I knew going into this business, I was going to either do it authentically or not at all. Authentically. What I mean by that is just straight up who I am. I wasn't going to pretend, Kiss said. I wasn't going to cater to the hyper-masculine standards. I was going to just be me, and if I couldn't do that, I wasn't going to do it at all. Bowens 30 played collegiate basketball at Seton Hall and Montclair State before diving into wrestling at 22. He said it was around the same time that he had become aware of his sexuality. And despite being out to his family and friends, he chose to hide himself from the people he worked with. As the picture became a lot clearer for myself, Bowens recalled, so did the fear that there was going to be some point where I'd have to say something. Would this affect my career? Would I be able to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish? If I did eventually come out, would people judge me? Would my co-workers accept me? Would they want to hurt me in this ring? There were so many different questions and stuff that ran through my head that gave me a ton of anxiety. All right, I'm going to close this article by reading this. AEW, All Elite Wrestling, a place of inclusivity. I'm Todd Tanner for Wrestling News Now.